Here's our Terran player. He's on a bit of a roll, looking for his third win in the GSTL. He is none other than the player known as
Gumiho
FOU. Spawning up at the top, Crossfire.
Gummy bears for you.
Gummy bears for you. You know, I always was partial to gummy worms. But here's our Protoss player, one of my favorite in the GSL right now. He is
TSL Trickster.
TSL Trickster. Love this guy. But can he beat Gumiho? We'll find out.
You know, I know someone who had a 12-hour shift at their work.
Oh, yeah?
And they wanted something to stay awake. It was a night shift. So they brought a bag of gummy worms to work. They ate the whole bag.
Wow. You know, I like gummy worms, but after you eat too many of them, your teeth just start to feel disgusting.
Yeah, they said that they felt a little sick afterwards.
Yeah. It's like your teeth start feeling like furry and stuff. It's weird. I don't know. It's a weird description.
You need some cleaner nanites.
Yeah.
Make your teeth feel slippery.
That's right.
It's another obscure reference for you. Anyway, so yeah, Trickster decided to choose this map for this matchup to try and take out Gumiho, who, as you said, is on a roll, taking out 2 players in a row. And man, it's really strange. In the team leagues, the players that you don't expect always seem to do pretty well, even against veterans like Fruit Dealer. So it's really interesting to see this happening. But
it shows the difficulty of going up against someone you may not have played a lot against, someone who you may not have seen a lot of games from.
May not know their style or their builds.
And of course, Trickster going to do some harassment with that probe. He's one of those Protoss players that always tries to do damage whenever possible. Cyber Core going down at the normal time for Trickster.
Yeah, and at this point, he is just getting that Cybernetics core up, just getting his Zealot out, pretty normal stuff. And the thing is we haven't seen an SCV yet. The SCV is still going towards that base, and he's going to have to probably kind of wait a little bit. Actually, SCV is low on health. For some reason, he sent his hurt SCV to scout, which isn't usually the best. But he may be able to. No, Stalker's not quite going to be able to get out before.
He sent the hurt one to toughen him up.
Yeah.
It's like, you're going to be a real man. When
is he going to hit? Oh, he gets one hit.
Whoa. That SCV.
One more hit from the Zealot would have picked it off. That would have been huge to stop that scout. But SCV is going to get in there, see exactly what's going on, seeing that the Stalker and the Warp Gate research are being chrono boosted.
The fact that that Stalker is being chrono boosted really tells Gumiho that he wants that SCV out of this base. Oh, the probe gets in.
Oh, wow.
Sees everything. He sees the second barracks being constructed. Probably going to suggest some 2 racks expand.
And sees only the one gas, which means probably, I'm thinking, going to get a reactor on that barracks as well.
Yep. Oh, looks like the Zealot's going to be picked off by this Marauder, though. Whoa. Is the Stalker going to be able to help it? Oh, no, it's way out of position.
Doesn't even get a hit.
Wow.
Despite yelling in slow motion.
Yep. He's running so slow, you'd think he'd be in a shot on a beach.
That's right, man.
Motion, like the Baywatch Zealot.
With, what's the name of that song? You know, doon, 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 doon.
Oh, like Chariots of Fire?
That's the one, Chariots of Fire playing.
A Zealot running along the beach with Chariots of Fire playing?
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me, too.
All right.
We are going to have some pressure here. We got an SCV, a couple Marauders, and a Marine looking to do some damage. They said, you know what? You ain't got that Zealot anymore. Oh, SCV gets up there, and that was to see what was on top of that ramp, to see if it was something he could take. And he said, 2 sentries. No, sir. No, thank you, sir or madam. I will not have any of that today.
You know, that's another change from the patch, is that sentries actually build 5 seconds faster out of regular gateways.
Oh,
so that was a change that was instituted mainly for PvP, but it's also coming in handy in TVP as well.
Yeah, he does have his warp gates up now, so everything's going to come out evenly at this point.
Yep.
But yeah, behind all this, he actually didn't put a reactor down on that barracks after all. He's just gone for a command center and a factory.
Yeah.
So Gumiho's just going to expand off this, went for a little bit of pressure, took out that early Zealot, and is going to try and get a second base up. And actually, Trickster getting his second base up as well.
Now, that push we saw Gumiho try, was kind of similar to a push that was really popular a little while ago, where you'd push with one SCV, one Marine, and 2 Marauders. I loved doing that one in my TVPs, but especially now that you know, Protoss has kind of gotten better at handling things like that, you kind of don't see it quite as much anymore, but it still can be pretty effective if you catch your opponent unawares. That Marine's going to go down.
And that was a hardcore stalker, man. He's like, I don't care if I'm being fired at from the high ground. I'm going to charge up here, sack my shields, get me a kill, get some action in this here war. And Trickster moving across the map with a field of sentries, a couple zealots and stalkers. He's got a pylon to warp in more units, and he's going to go for a bit of a push here, and maybe try and catch Gumio as he moves down to the low ground.
Well, those sentries have a ton of energy too, so that can make it very, very difficult for Gumio to defend against this. Looking for the third, or the natural rather, doesn't see it.
He's got like a dozen force fields right now.
He's probably going to wait for one more round of warp-ins just to get some zealots to run up the ramp first, and then he's going to probably push. There he does have a couple more. And some SCVs. Zealots going up first.
Whoa. And Zealots coming back. He's going to fall back. That was actually
that was
a little bit misplayed by Trickster. He needed to get all of his Zealots in the front and make sure he has those sentries in the back. Yeah, I'm really surprised he didn't, like you said, warp in a round of more meaty units.
Yeah. All right, so a Forge and a Robo Bay going up now, so Trickster may decide to pull back. Scouting factory.
Look at that. He's going to leave one sentry with full mana energy at the ramp to say, all right, you're never going to get out to your natural. I'm just going to keep my money for my expansion and force field you 4 times. Total of an entire 60 seconds in the game.
That's such a good idea, actually.
Yeah.
If he's able to do that, if he stays attentive enough, that'll be pretty amazing. Wow. There's the first force field. We just missed it, but
second one actually, but yeah.
All right, so
he's
drop
actually
coming
not
in.
gonna. That's weird. He's not gonna keep that force field there, but yeah, a little bit of a drop coming in for Gumio. He scouted the road ahead with his factory, so he knows there's nothing there to spot this drop, and he's gonna come in right in.
Oh, he might be able to cause a cancel on the Robo Bay.
Trickster, where are you going? Trickster just was moving his army out. It's gonna have to run even farther back. Loses some probes, might lose some crucial buildings.
I can't believe he's not going after the Robo Bay. Moltrap, I'm so surprised right now.
Yeah, that was. He probably could have targeted down. He may not have known how easy it would have been to target it down.
Yeah, well, he could have at least caused a cancel. So a little bit surprised there. That pylon in the middle will get taken out.
Yeah, Trickster reacted strangely. I was watching his army as that happened, and he actually moved out towards Gumio's base for like a second before turning around to take out that drop. So he had plenty of time to take out a Robo if he'd wanted to.
Yeah. Well, +1 armor on the way right now for Trickster. His Robo Bay did just finish, so he will be able to start researching that Colossus upgrade as well. Dropping again, going after one of the gas geysers.
Oh, and pulling him out of position for this army to go in the front.
Oh no,
and he stims in the front. Taking a good position, he might get this army destroyed, but he's got the control of the bottom of the ramp, so it's going to be hard for him to move down that ramp. Guardian Shield's going up, but he doesn't have enough meaty units like Stalkers to do the damage, and he's going to lose
Look at that,
not as much as I expected.
Getting him out of harm's way, and right now Gumio needs to kind of pull back, microing over the force field.
Wow, brilliant micro.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. He's going to be forced back, but he didn't lose as many units as he could have. And right now, only sentries and stalkers right now.
Wow, interesting trade-off there. That was beautiful. What he was doing, when the force fields went down, he picked up the ones trapped in front and moved and dropped them back so he could keep firing but keep his army together. So nicely done. In the end, was not enough to hold off TSL's army, Trickster's army from taking that out and pushing him back. But at the end of everything, Gumio is up by about 20 supply.
Yeah, another drop just loaded up by Gumio. He's going to try to do some more damage. This time 2 medevacs filled with Marauders. Scouting factory is still doing its thing. That factory driver just kind of hanging out. Doesn't have a lot to do today. He's just going to kind of float around.
This is really interesting. He's got a reactored starport, but he's only making medevacs. And he made a Ghost Academy. So that's kind of interesting. He knows there's Colossus on the way. He saw the support bay. But he's not doing anything to deal with those Colossus. I guess he's making a lot of Marauders, but you need more than that. Oh, and once he gets past a couple Colossus,
be able to take out that pylon at least.
It's interesting how the shots kind of bend up over the hill, but hold that thought, he's going to kill off some more probes. And he's going to get out with that medevac alive. But yeah, little shots were like firing forward and then like curving up over the hill.
I love this Gumiho dropping in different places at once.
Very, very cool move.
Yeah. I always wondered where the Marauders like keep all those missiles.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's like they've got cartoon pockets like Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, maybe they have, maybe their armor is like filled with it.
Yeah, like Marauder walks up to the ocean, and he's like, I need a boat, so he just opens the suit, pulls a boat out, tosses it in. Marauders
are actually all Felix the Cat.
That's right.
Or Mary Poppins.
I like Mary Poppins.
Didn't Felix the Cat have a bag with like everything in it also?
I think so. I just want to say a spoonful of stim helps the opponent go down.
That's right.
That's right.
That's great.
In a most delightful way, if I must say.
Indeed. So he is moving across the map here with a sizable army and a couple ghosts to follow it up as well. There's only the one Colossus. No, there's 2 Colossus out now. There's actually going to be a 3 Colossus by the time this army lands.
Yeah, Thermal Lance is going to be completed as well.
And Thermal Lance, so this is not a good idea. He'd really probably should have sacrificed a couple of those 8 medevacs to get Vikings instead.
He's got some ghosts. I mean, he's got some Vikings, not a whole lot. He's got a pretty decent sized army.
Yeah, he's only got 2 Vikings. He's going to have 4.
Quite a bit ahead in supply, though, right now. 40 supply ahead.
Yeah, he's macroing really well.
Yeah. And he's coming through. This is the better option as far as angles to attack from, just because it is wider. I mean, on Crossfire, it's pretty narrow. Here he comes,
though.
Preemptive force fields going up. Tester. I mean, Trickster.
Those Marines and Marauder were like, uh-oh, here he goes. Now he's dropping Marauders in the back again. This time he could take out something important, but he's going to target down some probes first. And here's the thing, if he pulls his army back to deal with this, Gumiho could charge in the front. He's brought his Colossus back.
Oh.
But it looks like Gumiho's not going to be able to take advantage of that situation.
Oh, look at this, though. Bioforce is chasing down a lot of Stalkers. Only 1 sentry there, and he uses a lot of his energy on those force fields. Wow, yeah. Doubling up one of them even.
Nice. Well,
and Marauders in the back seat, Marauders in the front seat. Which probe will they kill? Looks like quite a few. Nope, that actually didn't do anything. But I love that Gumiho is still threatening with these drops constantly. Yeah. He's put so much pressure
really good.
on Trickster.
He's in fact dropping right now. He's picking off a couple more probes.
Oh, another drop at the main base of Trickster.
Yeah, but he's just warping himself to deal with this. He can't afford to let his main army leave the front of his base right now, or he will get stomped on.
And no micro at all from Gumiho. And 2 of those Marauders will not return home.
There we go. I'm really surprised Gumiho hasn't expanded yet. He has a 3rd orbital in his main, but he hasn't put it anywhere.
Yeah.
And really, after all this pressure, I mean, he's almost maxed. He should really have 3 or even 4 bases at this point, to be honest with you.
He's powering so hard on 2 bases, which is why he's got such a gigantic army.
Yeah, I mean, he has a huge army, but he's like 60 supply ahead right now. He doesn't need to be that far ahead.
That's actually okay, though, because Trickster doesn't have a 3rd base either.
Yeah, that's true.
It's okay, another drop going down.
And he pulled his whole army out of position.
Oh no, he got one of the Colossi. 2nd one almost going down. Still not many force fields, only 1 sentry. Great EMP on the Stalkers, and here comes Gumiho right now. The last Colossus goes down, and Gumiho is going to get his 3rd win.
Oh my goodness.
I can't believe it.
TSL Trickster being overrun by a massive bio. There's the GG. Gumiho, what? Coming out of nowhere, taking out champions, taking out pros, taking out these Code S players from not even being in Code A. This guy is serious business, man.
Crazy town, man.
3 kills. 3 kills for this guy. That's amazing.
Coach Shoya patting him on the back. He deserves it, man. Look at that TSL
team's like, what? What just happened, man?
Yeah, I know. That was like, hey, that was like one of our best Protoss, right? Huh?
Yeah.
Trickster not looking too happy.
Just saw Killer kind of rubbing his face like, oh my god, they might send me out next and I have to face this guy.
Yeah. And if they do, we'll have to see. I mean, you can still 4-gate DVP, so.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's only 20 seconds slower, so it's not as rushy of a rush. It's easier to have enough units to hold it off, but it's still, I mean, if you think about it, it's still be powerful if you're waiting for those like second, third round of units or whatever.
Yeah, especially if you go for some sort of like really ridiculously fast 4-gate.
Yeah.
So like 10 gateway 4-gate. Some people have even done that. But we'll see what happens. I don't know. Who do you think TSL is going to send out?
It has to be either Clyde or Killer, and I'm thinking it's probably going to be Killer. I feel like because they have to plan, they have to have someone who they have to plan for this person being able to all kill the other team.
Yeah.
And FOU has a lot of kind of Zergs in the back if they get through Gumio, and I think a Protoss like Killer, who has good PVZ, is going to be a good choice to send out to have that longevity. Clyde would be another choice I would go with. It's probably going to be one of those two. Clyde, of course, is very strong as well.
Clyde is really stable, too, and if Clyde takes on Gumiho and we see Lena come out, we could see a great rematch because they had an awesome, awesome series a couple GSLs ago.
Yeah.
Lena versus Clyde was awesome.
Yeah, I guess Clyde, he actually even took out Nesty in his round of 32 group for Codex. Let's find out in a moment. It is going to be Alive. Whoa. Sending out the Codex newbie to clean up for the team. Wow, and so this is what I was saying. Sometimes it's someone you don't expect. They actually will even put out the less well-known. I don't want to say weaker, although I do think Alive is a little bit weaker than Clyde.
So TSL saw his TVT, decided that it wasn't very strong. Thought that Alive could take him down. Now Alive got to Code A round of 8 and took out Slayer's Boxer, and then was taken out by Slayer's Ryung in a TVT. So he's won some TVTs, he's lost some TVTs. He needs to win this one, though. Otherwise, TSL is out of the GSTL, and that will be a big upset this early in it. I know some people were even predicting TSL to win this season.
Yeah, and I guess, if you think about it, I kind of thinking that they have Leenock, they have, Tyrius as a decent Zerg as well, but they also have SC to clean up as well. So you need someone that's pretty good at TVT. Alive is going to be one of those players.
Metalopolis will be our map.
Yeah. And I mean, sometimes it is good to get, I don't want to say that they're even just like saying, all right, well, we've lost, but let's give this guy some experience. But in a way, it's
true. Yeah.
It's also good to give a guy like Alive a shot under the gun to give him some experience in that sort of a situation.
I am 100% sure that they would not send him out there if they didn't think he could win. He is a great Terran player.
No, of course.
You can see how nervous he is right now, though. He knows how much this means to his team. Really, this game decides his team's fate. That's a lot of pressure on a single player.
If he loses, he's going to get out. Now, we are going to have a couple-minute break here. Do not go anywhere. That won't take longer than 2 minutes to go to, and also